What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to FBA Capital, and today I'm bringing you guys the daily range case study. I'm bringing you two of them. I'm bringing you the daily range case study for October 13th, which was Thursday, and October 15th, which was Friday. So with that being said, we're going to start off with Thursday the 13th, and let's get right on into it. So basically, we're going to start off by marking up the previous day's highs for the days before. So all the way over here, which was Wednesday the 12th. I'm pretty sure that's the last daily range case study I showed you guys, I hope. We're going to mark up those previous day's highs and previous day's lows of that day, which was a very small range. As you can see, this was a very small range. Here, I'm going to mark up the Asian session range myself. So from 18 o'clock all the way to midnight. So from here, very small range on a day like this. I'm not sure what was going on this day. I think it was either, holiday was Monday. I'm not sure, it just was a slow day. Some days it's just ranging. Nothing, no news probably. I don't remember because I didn't trade as much this week, but let's see. So you can see this is a very small range that price was in. We ran the previous day's high and the previous day's low. So we ran the previous day's high and we ran the previous day's low. And what does that mean? It just basically mean that we ran the liquidity of both. But I want you guys to pay attention to a few areas on price. So for example, I want you to pay attention to this high, this low, this high right here. Those are going to be the main points of area. I was going to say points of interest, but those are going to be the points that I want you guys to pay attention to, because there are going to be a lot you can learn from these things right here. And also, let me see something right here also. That's what's going to be important. And you may be confused on why I have these areas marked up, and I'm about to explain to you why they're all important right now. So we're going to start off from moving to the left to the right. So we're going to start with this high here. Why is this small high here important? So for example, even though this isn't a move that, say, created a very high of the day or low of the day, or created a big move, or was a pullback for a big move, it is going to be what ran the Asian session high. Boom. So if you look to the left, this is the high that ran the Asian session high. After price ran this high, tapped into what level are we at? Tapped into 825. We had a small retracement back into the range. Now, mind you, like I always tell you guys, you don't need to catch the full move. A lot of the time, all you need to catch is a reaction. So if you would have been watching this area, this Asian session high, for potential reaction, even though this isn't my time of day, this is very early. This is pre-New York session, around 5 in the morning. Even though I don't trade it this time, this is a potential trade that you guys could have been looking to catch. So let's mark this all up. What time did this all happen? We ran the high and did all of this at, I'm gonna say 5:20, 5:30. I'm gonna say 5:20. So we ran the Asian range high at 5:20 a.m. Now, why do I mark this up? Because this is going to be something that I want to note for the future. Because the thing with these daily range case studies is they're basically showing me what is likely to happen in the future, and they're giving me an idea on how the market is moving, because I'm looking at it on a daily basis. So you can see price had that small move there. Matter of fact, guys, there's also another area that I missed right down here. This low is going to be important too, and we're about to get into that. So that is why this high right here is important, strictly because it ran the Asian session high and had a retracement off it. Even though this wasn't a long-term move, on a day that, say, this was the high of the day, this could have just been, if you go back just like this, say this didn't happen. Once it ran the Asian session high and then had this drop, once we had this pullback, this could have been a potential move that kept going lower if it was a continuation day. In this case, it just wasn't. But this is something you want to watch for the future, because sometimes you will be able to catch a longer term move. And now we're going to look at this area right here. Why is this important? So for starters, this is the London session low. The London session low that ran the previous day's low. And what time does this happen? 3 in the morning. So let's annotate that. At 3 a.m. London, I'm going to say at 3 a.m. the previous day's low got ran. Just like that. And why is that important? Because this could have been a sign of a potential continuation day. Even though it wasn't, And even though this wasn't a long-term move, these are all signs that I want you guys to pay attention to. Just the fact that this ran the low and had a move to the top side that ran all the way back up to this previous day's high is very important, because these are going to be things that you could be catching yourself. Now, even though it might not seem crazy because it's not a long-term move, you got to keep in mind that when you're a day trader and you're an intraday trader, all these small moves are going to be very important to you, because you're only going to be in trades for a small amount of time. You don't need to be in trades for all day. If you're swing trading, then it's different. But when you're intraday trading, you're only looking for about a 1 to 2, a 1 to 3 trade. You don't need to have a big move. All you want to do is find areas that price is likely going to have a reaction, and then you can capitalize on that reaction and leave a runner for the potential big return move, if that makes sense. But now we're going to move up to this area up here, this high. Why is this high important? Because this is the high that ran the previous day's high at what time? 8:15. So at 8:15 a.m. we ran the previous day's high. And this is important. Why? Because keep in mind what happened after this. This is where price dropped. And this was news right here. This was news. I'm going to say before news, because this is the move that pushed price to clear this previous day's high right before the 8:30 news that ran price and dropped it, and having this Thursday reversal. One thing I always tell you guys, Thursday reversals, and look at what happened. Price came up, created this high, reversed all the way, and came where? Look to the right. Simple. Big figure level. Because when there's nothing to the left that you can see, all you can use is price. And where did price come to? Came all the way down to 10,500. And when did it make this low all the way down here? At 9:30. So we got the low of the day after price came all the way down to 10,500 at 9:30 in the morning. Let's annotate it. Low of the day at 9:30 in the morning, 9:30 a.m. as we came to 10,500. And what else? Let's go to a higher time frame to see if we could potentially see anything that we're missing. Okay, there's nothing within this range since we dropped pretty far in price. So I'm gonna just leave these confirmations right here. But that is very important, because look at the move that happened after this at 9:30. Once we had that push back above 10,500, price flew. And flew where? Got the liquidity from all this, the high from before news, and then we continued to push up, having the high of the day, closing price at 11,100 right here. So we have the high of the day at 11,500. Well, 100, not 500. And at what time? This at damn near midnight. So I'm going to say 12 a.m. So basically, from 9:30, this run in price ran all the way until the market closed at midnight. Now, even though if I go to the thing and I make it go forward 1, this is where it closed. But look at how far price went up from this low area. So if you're able to potentially catch moves like this, it's going to be your best bet. So what happened? The Asian session, we had the range before price ended up running below it, running that previous day's low right here at 3 a.m. Before then, we ran the Asian session high before running the previous day's high, dropping lower in price before flying back up. So this may look a little bit confusing right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move it just like this. I'm going to move it to the left. Just like this. So what happened? I'm going to use this as the Asian session indicator so you can kind of see the range that I'm talking about. So that's what happened. It was a very choppy day due to the fact that there was CPI news at 8:30 that created this price. But say this wasn't news and this was just a smaller move like this, that could have been a smaller time frame move just like that. But I want you guys to learn from this. So this is going to be the daily range case study for October 13th. We ended up having a bullish New York reversal on a very news impacted day. So with that being said, now we're going to move on to the next day, which is going to be Friday. Let's get rid of all of this. We're going to go over Friday now. Friday had very nice price action that I'm very excited to go over, because we're going to have a lot in here that is going to be very helpful for you guys. So first things first, we're going to mark up the previous day's highs and previous day's lows. We got the previous day's high. Then we got the previous day's low. Just like that. We're going to mark up the Asian session range. So from 18 o'clock from the day before all the way to midnight. Boom. And that's going to be our Asian session range. Now, there's going to be a few areas I want you to watch. I want you to pay attention to this high, this low, this low, and this low. Those are going to be the most important areas I want you guys to pay attention to. And we're going to start off with this low right down here. Why is this low here specifically important? So for starters, look to the left. This is the low that ran the Asian session low, ran the liquidity of that low. If you also look to the left more, these 3 consecutive down candles is going to be our bullish order block right here. So this is on more than likely going to be on a 45-minute time frame. Just like that, you can see the last down candle. So even though we were on the 15-minute, I can see that that was a 45-minute order block due to the fact that there is 3 consecutive down candles. And if you look to the right, all I'm going to do is I'm just going to leave it just like this, just so I can see that was the order block, and I'm going to mark that up right in there. Now, what time does this happen? 5:45 in the morning. So let's mark that up. So we had at 5:45 a.m. we had the Asian range low ran along with the 45-minute order block getting tapped into. Boom. Then from here, what happened in price? Price had this push to the top side, has small retracement before eventually pushing all the way higher. Now, this small movement here is going to be something that you could potentially capitalize off of, because this is going into early New York session. Now, even though I don't personally trade this early, this is 8 a.m. So this is the start of the New York session. So if you don't know where I just drew that fib, I drew it from this low to this short-term high here. Now, why those two? Because that is the move that created this short-term retracement into this. If you get even deeper into it, into this fair value gap right in here. So from the gap of, from the wick of this candle, if you don't know what I'm talking about, from the wick of this candle right in here to here, this is our small fair value gap within price after we ran that low right here. So I'm going to mark that up right in there with this blue box right in there. So price traded into that fair value gap at what time? 8 o'clock. Look at that. So that's why I'm saying this is something that you guys could potentially call right here at 8 a.m. So annotate that at 8 a.m. we trade into the fib long right into that 15-minute fair value gap. So we have 8 a.m. fib long into the 15-minute fair value gap. And the reason that this is important right here is not because it did what it did here. It's because of this low right here. That's why it's important, because if this low didn't run the liquidity of this low, and tap into this order block on the higher time frame, more than likely this move wouldn't have happened, and it wouldn't have been so clean into this fair value gap. But the fact that we know that this low is more than likely going to hold short term gave me more reasonably that this should have a push here. And you can see how clean it was, and you can see that price even had a small wick that came almost down back into that fair value gap before pushing all the way up to here and creating our high of the day at 8:45 in the morning. So let's annotate that at 8:45 in the morning, price came all the way up and tried to tap into 11,200. Even though we missed it by about a pip, I'm still going to say that it did tap into that level, just for the sheer fact that more than likely on a different time frame, not time frame, but a different chart. So let me see over here. You can see that price did tap into 11,200 just on a different chart. So that's why sometimes your broker chart is just going to be a little bit different. Which one was I doing the markups on? Where did my chart go? Not sure where my chart went, so I'm just gonna have to go all the way back. All right, now we're here, like I said. But okay, so like we were saying, we didn't tap into it on this liquidity feed, but in reality, we tapped into it on other things. So we tapped into this high at 11,200 at what time? 8:45 in the morning. After doing what? Running the previous day's high along with the Asian session high that are in confluence. So that is a lot of reason that gave price reason to create this high going into 9 o'clock in the morning. So let's annotate that. We have the high of the day at 8:45, along with we tapped into 11,200 big figure level. Previous day's high got ran, plus Asia range high got ran, just like that. Boom. And that's what then led price to drop. And also keep in mind, when all this was happening, we were also above the New York open in price. And all when we're down here, we were below it. Above, below. You can see price then ran all the way below, coming lower. Now, where did it end up closing off at? Here, I'm gonna move this a little bit, make this a little bit cleaner. Where did price end up coming in, closing down at? Where are we price wise? You can see that we are right at the 700 level. And what am I going to do right now? I'm going to be pulling a fib from the previous day's low to the previous day's high. So from here to the current day high, not even previous day's high. And if you don't know where I drew the fib, I drew it from the previous day's low to the current day high right here. And that's where price retraced into this fib long. And also if you look to the left, we are still within another fair value gap right in here. So me personally, I think when market opens, we're more than likely going to get a push in price. Even if it's not long term, I do think we might get a push back up to this 11,000 area right in here. That's also another confirmation for this area in price. We can retrace back into 11,000. Just another confirmation. But yeah, this is now going to be annotated as our low of the day. And also keep in mind, this is something I want you guys to keep in mind. This is the second day in the row that price ended up closing off at 12 a.m. Close off at the high of the day. Close off at the high of the day because these are trending days. Let's annotate this. 12 a.m. low of the day at the fib long from the previous day. Low to the current day high at 10,700 big figure level at the 15-minute fair value gap. Boom. So this was a very nice day that I wanted to show you guys, just for the sheer fact that there was a lot of price action in here that you could be learning from. So what happened? We had the Asian session range. Then price ran the low during early New York session, pre-New York. Then we had a nice move that ran the previous day's high and Asian session high before eventually dropping in price. So it was a bearish New York reversal day, but it was a very, very clean day. I cannot lie. Even though I didn't take advantage of it because I didn't trade most of the week, so I didn't want to take a trade on a Friday. Kind of regret not taking it, but it is what it is. I had things to do anyway. So that being said, that is the daily range case study for Friday, October 14th and Thursday, October 13th. So if you found this video helpful in any way, shape, or form, make sure you like, comment, subscribe if you haven't already. Make sure you share the video with a friend, and also make sure you join the Telegram if you haven't already. The link is going to be in the description along with all my links to my social medias, my website, and all of that. So if you found it helpful, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next video. Stay productive and stay safe.